Alright, so welcome once again to Explain 11, and I've got another tutorial for you guys today. This one's not going to take too long, but quite a few people have asked me how I got the HRM, the Helicopter Rescue Missions plugin in Explain 11 to work in my hometown. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. So I'm going to show you how to get this to work if you are using Ortho4XP scenery. That's the way that I run it. I know there are ways to get this to work if you are using the base scenery, but I haven't tried that, so I'm not going to give any advice on that. I'm just looking at using it with Ortho4XP. I'm going to assume that you've already got your Ortho4XP scenery installed and working. If you don't, I'll leave a link below to a video from a fantastic channel that shows you exactly how to do all of that. Okay, so let's now jump in and have a look at the Helicopter Rescue Missions plugin. So again, I'm not going to cover how to install the plugin itself. I'm assuming you've already got that done. If you don't, you need to just come to the Explain forums and download Helicopter Rescue Missions 1.20. Make sure you install all of the libraries that are required for the objects that the plugin uses. The instructions here are pretty clear, so for installing the mod itself, just go through these instructions, but I'm going to show you how to set up the waypoint so that you can use this in your own area. When you click on download, you are presented with quite a few options. If you're downloading the plugin itself, you're going to go to this bottom one here, HRM v120. Download that, install it into your plugins folder, and you are good to go. But if you want to generate the waypoints, so the plugin is waypoint based. It can't actually read any of the streets and information in the game itself, so it just generates a bunch of waypoints, and that's what it uses when it randomly creates these missions. So to generate these waypoints for Ortho4XP, we need to download this option over here, HRM waypoints Ortho4XP. Okay, so once you've downloaded it, it gives you these two files. Now this is the important part that people are missing. These two files need to be copied straight into your Explain custom scenery folder. So if you come down here, you'll see if you have Ortho4XP set up like I do, you'll have all these Ortho4XP folders. This is straight in my custom scenery folder, and there I now have those two exe files. Now, it's actually very, very simple. All you need to do is go to the HRM waypoints Ortho4XP file, run that file as administrator, and leave it, let it go. Don't freak out when it says failed. It is working. What it's doing is it's looking for all these different Ortho4XP tiles. If it doesn't find them, it lists it as failed. So that means there's no issue there. It is just going through all of your scenery and looking for all of the different tiles, and you'll see it'll only start converting waypoints for the tiles that it actually detects. If it doesn't detect the file, it lists it as failed, but the program is still working. This process might take a while, so open up the software and leave it and let it run. One other thing you need to be aware of is that inside your custom scenery, with Ortho4XP, often the way we set it up is these overlays, which are generated inside the Ortho4XP folder. It's often encouraged to create a shortcut, but HRM, the waypoint creator, doesn't read files through shortcuts. So what you need to do is you need to go and grab these overlays and actually copy them into your custom scenery folder. Don't use a shortcut. Don't use a shortcut here inside this folder, it won't work. If you do use a shortcut, what will end up happening is if we go into the HRM folder inside plugins, here inside Ortho4XP, these are the different waypoints that are created for each tile. And what will happen is if those overlays are not there, the street and urban FMS files will be missing. So if you come into this file, once you've run that exe, that waypoint generator exe, and it's finished, you should see SAR, so search and rescue, sling, street and urban files inside your Ortho4XP folder in the HRM folder inside your plugins. If you're missing street and urban, it means that your Ortho4XP overlays are probably going through a shortcut, and therefore it can't read those overlays and generate these files. Once it's done, all we need to do is now jump over to Explain and do the last process for getting this set up. So now we're back in Explain 11. I'm going to go and open my HRM plugin, And now all of the normal options you set up yourself. So you can choose what type of missions you want, but you need to come down to waypoint folder and choose ortho for XP. So like I said, there are several options. Base is if you're using the base scenery. If you're using Orbex scenery, for example, if you're flying around London or an area that's covered by Orbex, you can do that. Forkboy and zone photo I have not used at all, but today we're just covering ortho for XP. So we're going to select that one. Then we need to choose a position around which the plugin is going to generate your mission. So you could say from aircraft position, which is just going to take from where you currently are. You could say use a specific airport and generate a mission in that area. Obviously, it's going to be randomly generated based on your minimum and maximum distances from this starting point. This is the important one. We need to set a hospital. Now, what I find is easiest to do with this when working with your own custom area is just to start up at the place that you want to end up being the hospital, essentially, and then give it a custom name. So I've just called this FACH, and then all you do is come down here and you type in that custom name. So we're here at Cape Town, but we're slightly away from the airport because we're off at the AMS hangars here. So I just gave this a custom name, call it FACH, and say save aircraft location as hospital. Then whatever you save that is, try and use something that isn't an actual airport. Once you've saved that, just come here to hospital ICAO, put in that name that you chose, and then the position that your aircraft was in when you saved that location, that will be the hospital destination for your mission. All right, so like I said, nice and quick. I hope that helped you to be able to get helicopter rescue missions working in your local area or at your local airport. If you found the video helpful, you know what to do down below, and I will see you soon in the next one.